And let me change you to... There we go.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can see myself in big close-up.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, for this one, you're running it. We can give you focus so we can all see your dogs.
Are we able
and then we can change over to anyone else who wants to share their dogs as well. Let me drop the giveaway code real quick.
Yes.
Am I able to share my screen?
Yes. Let me.
It won't let me.
Yeah. Oh, let me.
Otherwise, my beautiful game was for nothing.
1 second.
There we go.
All right, you should be able to share your screen now.
Nice. Right. Please, Google Slides. You suck so much. Please, just work. My God. But, is it working?
Yes.
Right. Great. Okay.
There we go.
How do we...
Right.
There we go. Right. I can't see myself now, so let's hope it works. I did just straight up steal the con badge, so I'm very sorry.
Oh,
I'm very,
no, totally fine.
So you know,
and I'm gonna ask while Aster is speaking here and going through these slides, let's have everyone else mute unless you have a question.
Yeah. I've kind of like designated a point for questions. Sort of. Well, there'll be a discussion point that I kind of want to talk about, but then we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Please work. Please clap. Most of you know. Can you see me as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And it's small.
Most of you know me. I'm Aster. I've been a Ginga fan since 2007. I live in the UK. Hooray! And Ginga is the reason that I found the Japanese dog breeds. And I have owned Kaiken since 2018, and they are the bane of my life, but the love of my life as well. Since 2018, I've been involved in the Association of Nihon Ken, which was our breed club here, the Kaiken Club of Great Britain, and I had the first UK litter of Kaiken. I have 3 Kaiken, who you can see here. They're Akiko, Nami, and Shoki. Shoki lives with my nan, though, so he is not here to join us today. As I said, most of you know me, but just, quick brief introduction. Please work. So Nihon Ken, it means Japanese dog. It's pretty straightforward. It refers to the group of the 6 Aboriginal Japanese dog breeds. Excuse me while I keep looking down because I have got notes. Even though I know most of this off the top of my head, I'm stupid. So originally the term was used to describe the land race that all of the breeds kind of came from when they were just like a land race. They were all just kind of village dogs before they split up into their own breeds. We tend to say that these are old breeds, but they aren't really. They were kind of only founded in the 1900s, so they're only really about 100 years old. Obviously, the history of the breeds is a lot older because they were landrace dogs, but as individual breeds, they've only really existed in the past 100 years. The Nihon Ken Hozonkai was founded in 1928, which preserves and maintains mainly the Shiba, Kishu, and Shikoku, but has a little bit involved in the other breeds. The Kaiken has its own club, the Kaiken Aigokai. The Akita have Akiho, and the Hokkaido Ken have Dokenho. So they all kind of do their own thing. This is mostly, it's not very interesting, I realize, but I figure you guys might want to know a little bit about it. A popular mistranslation is that the breeds are referred to as national treasures, which is not true. They are natural living monuments, which was designated as a significant cultural property by Japan. So it means that they're very important to the culture of Japan, basically. These photos I took myself at the show in Norway. So you'll probably know, well, I say you probably know, some of these dogs, they have their own faults. They're not like kind of the dogs that you'd see shown in Japan, but I think they're all pretty nice dogs. So I figured I'd share them. Before we look at the individual breeds, this Google Slides is absolutely dreadful. I'm just gonna say it. I figured this was quite an important thing to bring up, because I think when we look at the traits of the Nihon Ken as they appear in Ginga, these are like quite important as well, and you'll see them in Ginga as well as in the real dogs. And in Nippo, which is the Nihon Ken Hozonkai, there's 3 essential traits for the dogs that are considered more important than the general look of the dog, and that is Kani, Ryosei, and Soboku. And I'm really sorry if I can't pronounce these very well, because I don't actually speak very much Japanese. Kani is a daring and brave-tempered dog, a dog who's spirited and bold. A dog with good Kani is not aggressive, but has confidence. So not a cocky dog. I'm trying to think of a Ginga dog off the top of my head that's cocky and runs in and gets himself killed, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. So, it's all about a balance of these traits. Ryosei is good nature. Nihon Ken should be loyal and faithful to their people, and they should have a good, gentle nature with their people. They're supposed to bond fiercely with their people, which Ginga doesn't do great, since Gin just abandons Daisuke, but it's fine. It's fine, Soboku means simplistic. These dogs are supposed to be unrefined, not over the top. They should be rustic, moderate, and sincere. They're a very genuine dog breed. I've got a couple more here. These aren't specifically used in the temperament, but I still think they're quite important. Yasemi is wildness. My friend CJ often uses the term wonderful wildness to refer to the Kishu Ken. I think that's a really nice way of putting it, because they're an Aboriginal breed. They're quite primitive, and they have a wildness to them, and I think it's quite special. And then Ikaku and Igen both essentially mean the same thing, which is to intimidate, and it's all about like the posture of the dog. Ikaku is a dog that uses an aggressive posture and appears to be threatening, but does not denote actual aggression. It's just the way the dog shows itself. I'd probably say that, like, in terms of Ginga, a dog like Sniper probably uses Ikaku. I know he's not a Nihon Ken, but it's a good way to consider it. On the other side of things, Igen means a dog who intimidates with the aura of strength. So this dog, again, doesn't show actual aggression, but the dog has an aura about it that shows its strength. So in Ginga, looking at something like Ricky, he's a big, strong boy. So yeah, they're not. I don't believe these are used in the standard. Shigeru, who runs the Nihon Ken blog, told me these words when I was in Norway, and I thought they were pretty cool. So I figured they were good to share. Again, I'm really sorry this is so slow. It's just a terrible, terrible app. Come on, please. It's not working. It's not working. There we go. Akita, obviously, is the main boys in Ginga. I don't know that much about them compared to the other breeds, I'm not going to lie. So it comes to question time. If anyone specifically wants questions about Akita, definitely ask Now and Rio, who will be around and can help, I hope.
Yeah.
Akita are the largest of the breeds. They're mainly preserved by Akiho, which is the Akita Inu Hozonkai, I think.
Yes.
Is it Hozonkai as well? Yeah, I just know Kaiken has its own, uses Igokai instead. As I said, it's not really my area of expertise, which kind of sucks because Ginga is mainly Akita, but they originate from the Akita area and came down from Matagi hunters, hunting dogs, originally used for large game hunting, like bear, stuff like that. The breed went through a big restoration period after World War II, which led to kind of the dogs we see today, which they're not really hunting dogs anymore. They're mostly show and pets. Doesn't mean they're any less cool, but I'm not going to talk about the history of the breed because it's far too complex for my brain. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. So specifically for as I said, Wolf and Rio can definitely help with that. I'm not going to say which dogs from Ginga are Akitas because we can see that many of them are. Shibas. I will just say that for the pictures on the, I can't tell my lefts and rights. The pictures on the left are from the the Norway show. Pictures on the right are like historic dogs I've got from old books. So kind of a comparison to see some of their growth, I suppose. Shiba is the smallest of the breeds, and it's maintained by Nippo, the Nihon Ken Hozonkai. It's the only breed not named after a location, and the name itself has had a lot of discussions where it comes from. The main sort of things are either the old kanji for small, or brushwood, which is to do with the way the dog's hunted. It would be running through the brushwood, and they've got a red coat, which is the same sort of color. They're the most popular of the Japanese breeds. Upwards of 50,000 dogs are born every year in Japan, which is a hell of a lot compared to the other breeds. They've maintained that popularity worldwide. It's kind of thought that the reason they stay popular while the other breeds haven't is because of their size. Apartments in Japan are quite small and don't really account for dogs much larger than 10 kilograms. I don't know what that is in American. Very sorry. They're originally small game hunting dogs, mostly pets and show dogs. Now, I can't think of a single person that actually hunts with Shibas, but they're pretty cool. The main Shiba we know of in Ginga is, of course, Sasuke. I did put a photo of another one later on, but I couldn't tell you what his name is off the top of my head. I just grabbed it off the Ginga wiki because I'm great. The dogs I know less about are earlier on in this, and then the dogs I know more about are further on. So Kai-Ken will be the last one to pop up. Shikoku-Ken, medium-sized dog. They're on the larger side. Nami? Very sorry, Nami's decided she's intruding. Larger side of medium size from the Kochi Prefecture in Shikoku. Mainly a large game dog, mainly for hunting boar. They've had a big decline in Japan. They're very popular abroad because they're quite flashy looking. They've got that wolfy look that people like. And it unfortunately means they have fallen into bad hands of bad breeders. We've had 2 litters in the UK, and neither of those litters were registered by good breeders, which is great. It's just great. But that's the problem with breeds gaining popularity. They're mostly a show dog now as well. There's only one of the Nihon Ken breeds that really maintains its hunting status, and that's the Kishu, but I'll get on to that. But there are some lines of Shikoku still hunting, so that's good. You'll know that Jerome's gang from the anime were all Shikoku. They never appeared in the manga, but Saburo was supposedly a Shikoku, I learned today, so that's something. Hokkaido. There's one Hokkaido in Ginga, and it's north. As far as I know, he's not even a pure Hokkaido, but it's fine. It's fine. Medium-sized dog. They're more on the smaller side from the island of Hokkaido. They're also known as the Ainu Ken, which comes from the indigenous people of Japan. Mainly maintained by Dokenho. I believe there is another one that's like the Hokkaido Ken Hozonkai as well. I think they have 2, but mainly Dokenho. Originally, I did spell it right. Originally bred to hunt deer and bear. Sorry, I can't talk. Deer and bear, but they're not really used as hunting dogs anymore today because the numbers are so low. But they do tend to maintain that sort of stronger, fierce temperament of a hunting dog. But they're very, very loyal to their people, and I've really enjoyed every Hokkaido I've met, actually. They tend to have a thicker coat, which that's a good thing to remember for something later on that's going to pop up. Than the other breeds because of their origin in Hokkaido, where the winters are cold. The breed is in a state of crisis, though, and the numbers are critically low, which is a real shame because they're good dogs and they deserve people that can give them the right environment, really. But I won't talk too much about all the breed controversies. Kishu Ken, probably the second most popular in Ginga, maybe? Or the Kai? I don't know. Medium-sized dog, again on the larger side. They share the same breed standard as the Shikoku because they come from. They're also maintained by Nippo. They're from the area that was originally known as Kishu, Wakayama and Mie now. They're a large game hound, mostly used for boar, occasionally deer. I really enjoyed listening to Shigeru speak about his experience with these dogs while I was putting this together. And he mainly used them for boar. So as far as I know, mainly boar, but some do Kishu. Some do deer as well. Kishu are probably the only one of the Nihon Ken that maintained their like true hunting temperament compared to the other breeds. You could probably take a showline Kishu, and it would probably still hunt because they're just that kind of dog. I really like Kishu Ken. They're a breed that if I had more space, I would have myself. But they are critically endangered and at very, very severe risk of extinction. So if this can help one person learn about the breed, then that's good for me. The legend with Kishu Ken is that they have a strong association with the Japanese wolves, and legend has it that they're descended from that because a hunter found an injured wolf that he took pity on. And all he asked in return was for a puppy from the wolf, and that dog grew to be the Kishu Ken. Supposedly, that's the legend. I think it's quite nice. Of course, Akame is probably the most well-known, and Kyoshiro, but he kind of sucks, so we'll go with Akame. Originally, just fun footnote about myself, I was more into Kishu than Kaiken for a long time, so things changed at some point, but now I've got two of these idiots sat on the sofa with me. So I made a point to pick nice photos of the other breeds, but Shoki decided he's going to be an idiot in this photo to represent the Kaikan. So the Kaikan is my bread and butter, and the only reason I have notes is because otherwise I will talk about them all night, and you'll want to kill me, probably. Kyra, medium-sized dog. They're on the smaller side, similar to Hokkaido, between Shiba and Kishu kind of size. They're all brindle. I think they're all brindle in Ginga anyway. There's something coming up with that, but we'll get to that after. They're mostly brindle. Originally bred for hunting the Japanese Sero, known as Kamoshika, but they're also used on deer, boar, pheasants, and occasionally bear. They're typically not a hunting dog anymore. There's, I think, a small handful of people that still use them for hunting, but it's, as I said before, it's usually Kishu that are used. The breed has two types. You can actually kind of maybe see a difference in this, is that there's the deer type and the boar type, Shishi Inugata and Shika Inugata. Shoki, who's on the left, my idiot boy, he is deer type, and Kaikurogo, who is on the right, he is a boar type, same as Akiko is. Kaikurogo is also stuffed in Japan, so if you ever go to the Ueno Museum in Japan, he's a very cool dog. Kaiken tend to retain their popularity in Japan a bit better than the other breeds. I think it's probably because they're a bit softer natured than some of the other breeds. They're very, very good family pets, but kind of more flight than fight versus the other breeds. So really, Ginga just made them all too tough, in my opinion, made them too cool. They have had a number of uses as search and rescue dogs. I have got a photo of that later on, which is quite cool, I think. And they can and do swim. There's another photo of them swimming as well, because that is something Ginga told us, that Kaiken can't swim. Of course, the Kai Bros are the main ones, but there's a lot of Kaiken in Ginga. What are we on now? If it wants to load. This is just like a very brief thing I just wanted to mention is... Sorry, Nami's barking again. Guys, is there any need? Shush. Shush. Nami. What do you want? Come here. Sorry. Just wanted to briefly touch on the kind of things that Kaiken, well, all of the breeds can do, but I've specifically got pictures of Kaiken because I stole them off the website I made. We've also got Miranda, I think is pronounced. Nana's dog. I hope that she doesn't mind I stole her photo because I thought it was cute. The others belong to Tane, who lives in America. There's two of my idiots, and at the bottom is a search and rescue dog owned by Kinoshita-san, who bred my dog Shoki. I just kind of wanted to show the sort of versatility of what all of the Japanese breeds can do, but in this is specifically Kaiken. So when you see them jumping around and doing cool shit in Ginga, doing cool stuff in Ginga, you can see they're very cool dogs. They've got a lot of, there's a lot of things they can do. And if you're interested in a pet that can do lots of good things, they're often a good choice. So that's my point here. This is my little game, but I don't. Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll point to them. This is a game. There's a couple of maybe tricks in this. Something that is brought up quite often in the Ginga server, I've noticed, is people often can't tell the difference between certain breeds. Usually Shiba and Kishu get mixed up quite a bit. Weirdly, this was brought up literally today, but I'd already made this slide, so I thought it worked quite well to keep on it. I want to just see what people think each breed is, and then I'll tell you which each one is, and maybe you'll be surprised.
Should I not do it since it'll be unfair?
No, yeah, I'm sitting.
Yeah, you can't do it. You go spoiler. And Arano may know some of these dogs, possibly. So
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Those who are well versed in this, maybe mute yourself.
I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, so people will just someone will have to just read out what people say, but shout out as well. If you can see my cursor, great. This one, what do people think this dog is?
Where's the cursor?
It's the top left. Very, very top left. The under game.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. I see. Okay, yeah, I'll
shut up. Nara says Hokkaido. Barry says Kishu. Desalim says Kishu.
Very muscular Kishu.
Do you have markings? I can't tell if the markings are just super.
I believe they're all white
and
or cream.
Yeah, so it's mostly Hokkaido and Kishu is what people are saying in the chat.
That was what I expected, but we'll come back to it. I'll go through them. We'll go through them all first, and then I'll come back and tell you what they all are, just to really mess with you all. This one, the one next to it.
Second one.
Yep.
We have Hokkaido. If anyone else is voting in the chat. Kishu. Hokkaido.
I think I'm going to say Hokkaido too.
Yeah, looks like most are saying Hokkaido.
Very good, very good. I'm impressed. I've kind of given it away that that's what it is, but I'm impressed. Well done, guys. Next one. I'd like to hope people would know this one.
Akita.
Yep, everyone's saying Akita.
They're pretty, they're kind of more obvious compared to the other breeds. Next one.
Kishu. Yeah. People are saying Kishu.
I'm gonna
Kishu, Shiba.
Yeah, I'm muting too.
I'm muting it.
Most are saying Kishu, and some are saying Shiba.
I'm thinking Shiba too.
I think I was quite mean with some of the photos because I tried to get ones that were quite, I guess, not so obvious. To my eye, they are, but obviously for people that aren't. Next one, this big guy up here.
It's like people are saying Hokkaido. Everyone's saying Hokkaido.
Nice, well done. That is a Hokkaido, and it's a very nice Hokkaido as well. I believe he's one of the few that ever got like an excellent rating. I just stole it off the Hokkaido Club's page, but I did a bit of stealing for this. There is a credit slide. Don't worry, I did give credit where credit's due, but I did a bit of theft. I do know like most of the people who own these dogs, so I'm hoping that they don't mind. This one.
So top right.
Kishu.
Yeah, people are saying Kishu, Shiba. Looks like mostly Shiba.
Next one. This one down here, below the
bottom right.
A good.
Doesn't look like any of them.
We have Mutt, Chihuahua mix, a good boy.
These are
no
all
clue.
purebred Nihon. Well, actually, they're all purebred dogs.
I just love a good boy. They're all good boys.
Very good boy.
Shiba, Pinto Kaiken.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce this one that Fell said.
I really hope that
Shipurki? Shipiki? Shipurk? Is that how they're saying? I don't know how to say that.
It is Skipperky.
The ancient
Skipper
dog
Key.
question mark is some of the other people are saying. It looks like a Kai, but a rare colored pigment.
Sorry, she's joining in again. This one next to but below.
This is all one breed. So at the bottom, looks like people are saying Shiba. Let's see if anyone else. Kishu is another vote.
Which one are we looking at?
The one sort of near the bottom right. That's not all the way. Like second
Kind of
from
below
the.
one.
Okay, the one
from the
lying
right
down.
at the bottom. Yeah. Hard to tell laying down. Shiba, Shikoku, or Kishu. Someone says Kai. It looks like that one is sort of all over the place of no idea.
These are the two that I thought you guys would struggle on the most. So well done so far for guesses. The one above that.
So the one sort of in the middle.
I think that's the Kai.
Yeah, looks like we got votes on Kishu, Kai, Kishu, Kai, Kishu. Looks like it's torn between Kai and Kishu.
I'm glad that you guys have caught on that there is cream Kai Ken in this, because there is. This one?
Sort of bottom center. Kaido, Shiba, Kishu, Shiba.
I think Hokkaido.
My dad does know he might be across from him.
Yeah, people seem to be leaning more. There's another Hokkaido. So a little bit torn between a couple on that one.
So my theory in all of this was going to be that people would struggle the most with Kishu and Hokkaido, and I'm pretty correct on this, but also I am very impressed that people have picked up the breeds really well. So, but continuing on, this adorably filthy puppy.
Yeah. The dirty face.
And then that's just a
Kishu, Hokkaido, Kishu. I love Kishu Earthworm.
I love this dog very much. So,
yeah.
And to the next one.
Akira.
Yeah, not very much. Looks like, yep, everyone's Akita.
Akita is so obvious compared to the others. So.
It's that head. It's just...
Yeah, they've got the head. And then the last one.
Shiba.
We got Joshiro.
And actually, he does have eyelashes, so it could be. It could be.
Yeah. Shiba. So it looks like a lot of people are saying Shiba or Hokkaido.
Excellent. Good. I was. I'm impressed with that, because some of the photos that they have of him, because he's quite he's very different in type to the other Shiba on this picture. So I was kind of wanted to see what people would think. Very impressed. You all did really well. I'll give you the results. There's one trick question, but the others are pretty straightforward. The first one that we discussed was kind of a trick. That's a Shikoku. It's a white Shikoku. White Shikoku Ken are very uncommon. There's been like a handful that I can think of. I believe it probably comes down from similar genes, because in the early days, Shikoku and Kishu kind of shared a similar gene pool, much closer than the other breeds did because of Nippo. They've got, as I said before, they've got the same standard near enough. So they tend to pop up more in hunting lines. I don't know much about this dog. I got it off Facebook. Next one, well guessed. It is a Hokkaido. Can't remember where I stole this picture from, to be honest with you. Oh, I got this from the Nippo website. So yeah, it's probably more of what Nippo themselves would be looking at versus Dokenho, but I think it's a pretty nice example. Akita, this is a dog owned by my friend. Sadly, she's passed away now, but she was a lovely dog. And I think she's cute. Kishu, a couple people guessed Shiba on this one, and I can understand why it's quite like a compact Kishu. So I guess my trick worked. But yeah, Kishu from the Nipo website, so it's a really nice dog. Hokkaido, you guys all got that, so I was really pleased. Shiba, this also belongs to one of my friends. He was quite a young dog here. He's got a lot more kind of substance to him now. But again, that helped with my trick questions. So, but yeah, most of you guessed Shiba. I think a couple of you guessed Kishu, but yeah. This is a cream Kaiken. And this one is also a cream Kaiken. They're both next to each other. I love how confused everyone got on those ones. That's great. That was... but it does show that without stripes, they're quite hard to tell what the hell they are, right? But yeah, they're such weird dogs when they've not got stripes. That you've got to have brindle to be a Kaiken, right? This is also a cream Shikoku. I stole this picture from Shigeru's website. This is a hunting line Shikoku. So probably there is a mixture of Kishu in there somewhere far back. But it's got really big ears. But I like that people thought this was the Kai, and I can kind of see why when I look at it. There's bits that I would also say. I think mainly the sickle tail, because Kai tend to have those. This was my little trick question. This is a Korean Jindo. I just thought it would be funny to mess with you all. I got this. I took this photo at Crufts. So this one is a Kishu. I'm very pleased everyone got that because this dog is named Meringue, and I adore her. She's very cute. So I'm very pleased everyone got Meringue. Akita, obviously. I took this photo as well in Norway. And Kibo is a Shiba, which you all got. So overall, I'm very impressed. You all did a really good job. Even if I did try and mess with you all a little bit. So I'm very pleased. And hopefully, looking at them through this, I'm happy to share this slide like after if people want to have a look at them in a bit closer detail, because I know some of you are probably looking on your phones. Just to see the differences in them a bit more, because I think it's quite a good exercise in sort of training your eye to look at it. The Kai in particular, it's really hard to get good photos of cream Kaiken. Same with the Shikoku because it's not in the breed standard, but the others are you can easily get. But well done, everyone. The main discussion point is, of course, Ginga and the Nihon Kan. So I figured we could just kind of talk about them together and discuss. The next slide literally just says questions and discussion with the image credits. It's got a photo of my puppies. But I figured like this is probably a good point to discuss Nihon Kan and Ginga together. So if anyone wants to just pipe up with anything, let's discuss.
Something random. So Kaiken were our first NK, and I still remember to this day when I got one, I was like, they're so tiny compared to Ginga.
Yes,
they're small. They make them look so huge in the show.
Very, very true. That's a really good point. Is they are really quite surprisingly small. Nami's huge, but she is fat. So
like Noodle is on the bigger side as well. Which is when she passes, I'm like, I hope I can get one that's big.
I think it comes from because they're early American. They come down from the early Japanese imports. I think that the kind of common ancestor, which is Rikuro, I think he was. This is me being really nerdy. I'm so sorry, everyone. I think he was JKC registered, so he didn't follow the Kaiken Aigo Kai standard in the same way. Because he would have been bred for FCI. I don't know that for certain, but I think he was an FCI dog. So I think the fact that the earlier American ones were bigger is not uncommon, and that's why Akiko's a bigger dog and why Nami's a bigger dog, because that's her lines. And Shoki's quite small. So.
But when I was a kid, I didn't know what an Akita was. So as a kid, I thought Gin was a husky for some reason.
I also did at first.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a question about this slide. Who is on the bottom left?
That looks
Saburo.
This one? No, this one?
The bottom left, like with the collar.
Great question.
That's
don't know
Ryu from
you don't know? You don't know who it is.
That's a Shiba Inu from that
It's
from the set of
it's
stories.
from one of
What
the
is it
little
called?
stories.
Oh yeah,
Shonen
Spirit
to
Tree's
Inu.
gonna know.
Shonen to Inu.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. It's from
Yeah.
Shonen to Inu. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
No, I
I
recognize that.
just looked at Shiba's on the Ginga wiki. I'm not gonna lie, and I liked the art. So
Yeah, in all of Takahashi's work, they are like just 4 Shibas. There's Sasuke, of course. Ryu from Shonen to Inu. Then there's Goro that was killed by the Tibetan Mastiffs in Noah. And then there's Chiyomaru from Lassie.
yeah, I knew that one as well, but I can never remember that. I only remember Sasuke. You can
my
tell my
nerd.
heart lies if I can.
That's my nerd thing to know where they come from.
And when I saw an IRL image of an Akita, I was like, "Where's Gen's fluff?"
Well, the thing is that they like a good example of Akita, they should be Cody, not over the top. A lot of people are kind of used to them being less Cody, more refined, and seeing muscle tone, which is fine. That's kind of FCI standard and what America's going, which is both not correct. They should be Cody, not over the top, not more than like 5 centimeters, 10 centimeters in the coat length. Like, so you see like a good example of an Akita. They're quite fluffy.
And their fur should never like lay flat. It should kind of be sticking outwards. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's the same in Kaiken. It's supposed to be like kind of like a hedgehog the way it points out.
Yes,
Oh my God,
that's a perfect example.
Like a hedgehog, like it sticks out. Yep.
Yeah.
Come here. Yeah, she's not little and cute anymore. She's just fat and stupid. But that was why I wanted to make the point of the photos that I used from the Norway show. These are FCI registered dogs, so they're standard. That's what I mean when I mentioned about faults. Is they're going to have faults compared to the dogs in Japan because they're not dogs in Japan. They're bred to the UK, not the UK, the European standard. So they're not what you'd probably, they're not an ideal. They're great dogs. Don't get me wrong. They all have their really good strengths, but they're not in the same way. They're all different. Every country has its different standards, doesn't it? So, but yeah, like Nami just keeps walking off, so I keep losing her. But the coat's important, especially in Kaiken. They have a very thick mane. So it's supposed to stand up and you kind of put your hand in it and it like buries into it. It's quite fun.
I don't have an image of her, but one of my dad's friends has a Shiba named Sunny, and man, she is so fluffy and soft.
There are long-coated Shibas and Akita, and Kaiken can also come in long coat, called Moku, which is the long-coated gene. But you tend to see it in Akita more than the other two. Very few Kai with it, and like you sometimes see Shiba, but not very often. But it's a fault, but I think they're cute. So
they are cute. I've noticed Nippo and Akiho, they ask for different things in their standard, even in just the essence of the dog. And they're similar in what ways, but interesting how they want like more of a wild, like not oh my god wild, but because they're more working, where the Akita is more just kind of a symbol, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, obviously, I kind of use it as a general thing because Nippo does have
exactly,
an interest
and
all
I find
of them,
it so cool, that it's like there's more to it than Akiho, where I didn't even know Nippo had like the wild thing, so that's actually like cool to hear.
The thing that's is I think that obviously the Akita obviously went through a big. As I said before, they went through a big transitional phase where the breed was kind of being returned to what it was before crossbreeding and the war and stuff. And I think that that's where that big difference between the Akiho standard and the Nippo standard comes in, because the Nippo standard, they kind of set out one standard for all the breeds. I don't think they really anticipated that would happen. But there's been there's a lot of like arguments between Nippo and the Kaiken Aigokai, and that's why we have two quite not different standards, but they have things that they like. Kaiken tend to have spotted tongues, which I wish would appear in Gengar. I think it's really cute. Nippo hate that. So, and also Kaiken Aigokai Kai are smaller than Nippo Kai. So, as we said before, they're quite small dogs. So.
I know something when it comes to showing dogs. You've already mentioned it, but AKC in America, UKC. If the dog looks nice, and as long as it doesn't bite the judge, it's gonna win. While in Japan, yes, looks matters, but it's also that character, and that isn't. But like, there could be faults with a dog, but something like resonates with the judge, where like, man, that dog feels powerful. The dog feels like there's something unique with the dog. They look at that opposed. It's actually one reason why me and Wolf aren't really into AKC and UKC anymore, because it just looks. And anyone who says otherwise, they're lying. But I'm not saying Japan is better, but it's just a different. I don't want to say none of them are better, but they are so different for that. And I really appreciate they look at the dog as a dog and its own thing, opposed to it doesn't look nice. Is it a good breeding stock? No, there's more to that. Yeah,
it's exactly it, because every breed standard looks at different things, and obviously the country of origin knows what they want. I didn't mention it specifically, but there's so many things in the Nippo standard, and I'm assuming it would be the same with Akiho, and I believe the KKA, because their standard is so bare bones that you could literally look at it and think any dog could fit this. Is a lot of the breed standard and like notes from judges are all passed down by word of mouth rather than written down.
Yes.
So you'll find that the judges all know what they want, but when you kind of look at the standard from an outside perspective, you're thinking, well, yeah, my dog does fit this standard, but it's missing something, because what the judges want is passed by word of mouth, and what they know, because the judges in the original breed, the people that were always in the breed originally, they know the breed so much more than we do. So I think it's very interesting. It's frustrating, because when you're trying to find out information, when it's all come down from word of mouth is really hard. But I think it's very interesting the way they do it.
One thing to add to that, I'm pretty sure for the KKA it's very similar, but I was explained that as a breeder, you almost have your own pedigree, where, for example, like I studied under this person who studied under this person.
Yeah.
And and that's how you kind of get that knowledge. You can't just really get it from online. Like any other breed, you could just find everything online. But I think what makes the Japanese breeds beautiful is that you have to get this information by committing and like making the relationship and working through it. And when you ask the right questions, then they give you a little more information. They don't just give it to you, which is, I'm happy that the other breeds are similar, where like it's annoying you can't find the information, but it's kind of motivating, but it's also annoying. It's a language barrier. So like, God dang it.
It really encourages you to build a stronger relationship with the other people, but I think it also encourages a stronger relationship with your dogs as well.
Yes.
Because I think you appreciate them more when you think about the work that's gone into them by the founders of the breed. I think it's quite beautiful, really.
It is. I like that. It's so black and white in Western showing, if that makes sense, of if you fit the standard or not, it's a bad dog, where a dog could be a good producer or it could be a good shower. Doesn't mean it can't show, but it could produce. It could show, but can't produce. And again, I'm pretty sure that the Kaiken Club does the same thing. Just you saying that you just can't find any information. So I love the idea of like, they just won't give you the information, but once you start asking, they're asking this question. All right, a little trickle. So it's like really working at it.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely. Yeah. Like when I recently contacted the Kaiken Aigo Kai to ask for some statistics about the breed, like numbers over the past kind of 50 years, and they were straight away. They were like, "Why do you want to know?" And I was like, I fully explained. I was like, "Look, we're really passionate about the breed in the UK, and we just want, we want to do what's right for the breed, and we just think it would help." And they really liked that. They appreciated that. So it's you have to be, I don't know if it's the same in Akiho, but for the Kaiken Aigo Kai, you have to be recommended by an existing member to join.
Yes. Yep. Or I mean, you can kind of. It's not as tight knit as that, which I like that. Like here, yes, you have to get like the sponsors and stuff, but it's easier to get sponsors for Akio,
Yeah.
And but for example, I don't see very many people in the KKA. Hell, I think you're the only person I know who's in it.
Tane is, but I don't know if I don't think if she's done her membership in a long time.
Oh, okay.
I just renewed mine the other day. It's so expensive.
Actually, I'm curious, how much is it compared to Akiho?
That's a great question, actually. Let me find out. Let me just check.
Because I did like family membership, and it was less than 200 for sure. I forgot. I just kind of pay it every year, but I think it's 145, and it's much more than your country's kennel club, which might be like $30-$50.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's similar to Europe or United Kingdom, where
I pay £15 a year for Young Kennel Club, which technically I've aged out of now, so I don't know why I pay for it. And then I pay a maintenance fee of £18 for my kennel name.
Oh, really? You have to do that?
Yeah. So you pay 60 originally, and then I pay £18 maintenance for it. Even if it goes out, they still won't let anyone else use it. They're just money hungry.
I'm not sure if that's similar to United States, which honestly, I like that idea of just kind of, there's only one, yours. There's only one, but we don't have the same system of like, I'm not sure would you know for KKA, for example, in Akiho, you have your kennel name. So us is Futago, which is for Ginga, but mainly because me and Rio are twins, and Futago also means twins. But once you have a kennel name, you could never change it. That's the one for life. You cannot change your kennel name. So that's why
it's the same in KKA.
Yes.
The yearly maintenance fee for KKA is 5,000 yen, so 50.
Okay, not bad. Okay.
There was like additional fees on top for joining your first year, but it wasn't.
Do you get a newsletter or anything?
Yes.
Akio gives. Really?
Yes.
Neat.
I should have brought them. I'll take some photos after.
No.
The newsletter's cool, and it has a password in it, so you can go on their website and look at like the members only bit, which is quite cool.
That's neat.
So, the newsletters are good, but not that I can read them very well. But I like the way KKA does stuff. It's quite just something about KKK. I know I'm gonna misslip one day and say it. Yeah, I'm a member of that. What? I should work in prison. That's not something I should be talking about. But funnily enough, when you join the KKA, you have to sign a thing that says you're not a criminal. They take it very seriously, and I like that because it shows they're really passionate about doing the right thing by the dogs. Even if it is pretty much run by I think one guy with a typewriter. But
yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. We love them,
Are you able to go to headquarters? Like for Akiho, you could go in. There's a little museum and everything. I'm not sure if KK is similar.
I think you can visit, but I think it's very small.
Okay.
It's basically just a little building. I was going to go when I visited in 2023, but I just didn't have time. But I will definitely be going next time.
Yeah, you're a member, so it's like, I pay. Let me in.
Yeah, literally. But it's they've finally got a web presence now, so it's a little bit easier to communicate with them. In the past, you couldn't. You had to find someone that could speak Japanese and mail to them. So
Are you able to open clubs outside of like branches?
I don't know. So they, as far as because I know Nippo does, and obviously Akiho does. At the moment, I don't think they'd even. I don't think they'd even expect people to do so, because they're very sort of separate, just on their own kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think they were surprised in general when the first time I contacted them, I contacted them in English with like a really poor Japanese translation with it. And I think they were just surprised that anyone outside of Japan had contacted them. But obviously, as I've spoken to them more, it's gotten easier. So I saw a question before. I'm just going to roll back. About if rugged is a good word to describe them. And I wouldn't say, perhaps not rugged, but unrefined, and well, I guess rugged kind of fits that. Just natural is a good way to describe them, but I guess rugged works, especially when they're all losing their coat and they literally look rugged like a rug.
Yeah, they look like garbage. Any dog with like they drop the coat, they're like rats.
We had when we did our very first Nihon Can event, we had Akiko and we had Kirin the Hokkaido, and Kirin was blowing her coat, and we had people walk past and they were going, "Are those Korean meat dogs? So sad, so sad." And we were like, "Yeah, they do kind of look like rescues right now because they are very, very scabby looking." But no, they weren't.
That's funny.
And then there's the other question is, what are the ideal pet homes for Akita, Shiba, Kaikens, and are Kaiken stubborn and headstrong? They can be. I'll talk about that first, and then we'll go to the pet homes question. I know we're running out of time, but I figure we can fit this in quickly. They can be stubborn, but I don't like to describe them as stubborn so much as that they're independent thinkers. They have their own agenda is probably a good way to word it.
Very, very
and that
intelligent.
agenda involves you, but you have to have that bond for it to involve you. So I could ask Akiko to jump and she'd say how high, whereas Nami would be like a bit more like, yeah, I'll do it, but what's in it for me? But that's because me and Akiko have had 6 years to bond very closely, whereas Nami's still a bratty teenager. So I always say it's more like a partnership than an ownership with my Kaiken, because you have to work with them, they won't work for you, they'll work with you. So in that sense, they're probably stubborn in what like someone who owns a Malinois might say, but not if you have any experience with anything, any kind of primitive breed or cats, maybe you'd probably be fine. Me, Wolf, and Rio talked about to ourselves, just amongst ourselves, about perfect owners for Akita. So I'd be interested in what you guys had said.
Yeah. So, for example, with I was very lucky with when I had my litter that the majority of the ones in the United States were brindle, and people are looking for red. So I had the chance of being very picky. And for me, if you have both sexes for like a male and a female, unless you really prove it, it's not ideal for this breed because there's the same-sex aggression. Now there is, training and there's this, but I tell people expect to crate and rotate. You might not need to, but expect it. And if you don't want to do that, then don't get an Akita. And honestly, I just tell people like what you're explaining, expect that. Also, when they're one, they're going to be assholes. They are terrible, especially males. They are terrible. I'm telling even to my puppy owners, you're allowed to tell me I want to kill this dog when they're like adolescents and stuff. But generally, the main point, like, I'm not sure for the other medium breeds, but it's not ideal to place in a home if you have both sexes, because like, again, unicorns exist, but normally, unless you have something that the breeder feels like comfortable, you're normally just passed on just altogether. Again, unless you're like, oh yeah, crated, rotate, that's easy, but everybody says it until it happens.
Yeah.
Like Nezuko could be out with the girls, but she's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Even she gets into fights, she is and I can't expect even her daughters to be like her.
Yeah. I've got the same with the Kikos. I could trust a Kiko with any dog. Off lead, on lead. She has no reactivity at all. But Nami is a spicy pain in the bum who thinks that 50% of dogs are out to get her and the others are fine. So I can't trust her with other dogs in the house at all. If I had someone else's dog come here, there's very few dogs I would trust with her. Not because I think she'd do anything to hurt them, because she's not aggressive in any way, but I just don't trust her because she's an idiot.
And also in terms of like energy level, for Akita, so same-sex aggression is mainly in Akita because at one point they were fighting dogs. And it's not common for people to own multiple or even other dogs. They're such a big dog. They have a lot of power to them. And I'm going to ask Aster in a second. With these guys, like a walk in terms of exercise is normally enough. But if you want to add like tone in, there's much more. But in terms of energy level, Aster, Noodle's very lazy, but what do you think is like an ideal home in terms of exercise for Kaiken?
Kaiken have a fantastic off switch, and I think that's something that a lot of people kind of don't get. I remember when I had some drama faced towards me, people were like, "Oh, Aster doesn't do enough with his Kaiken," and I'm like, "My Kaiken go for hikes." Nami, please. My Kaiken go for regular hikes. I do man trailing nearly every weekend with them. They have plenty of exercise. But they also have I'm really sorry if you can't hear me because she's been very annoying. Nami, come here. Come here.
I think Nami got offended because you called her an idiot.
She is, yeah. Her nickname at the moment is Ding Dong because the lights are on and no one's home. Nami, please.
For Nana, even like the crate and rotate could just be separate rooms. Like make sure there's a containment, like my house is modular, so I could just throw dogs in rooms. I have a kennel system in my home, but a lot of people think crate and rotate, it's literally the name, but just like some people put a gate in between the dogs and a lot of them don't have barrier aggression. That's okay. But if you just don't want to manage the dogs like that and you have both sexes, then now is not a good time for these guys. At least Akita, the other breeds, I love that the Kaiken are more dog tolerant.
Yeah, that was another question was about same-sex aggression. Is Kaiken typically... They tend to say that male Kaiken have more same-sex aggression, but Shoki is the softest dog on the planet. Like, you could push him over and he would just go on his back. Like, he is so gentle, so bullied by the girls. He has no aggression in his body at all. Like, I don't even know if he'd hunt if he tried. He's such a gentle-natured dog. But typically they do tend to say male Kaiken are more prone to same-sex aggression. I've certainly seen male Kaiken be same-sex aggressive. I've seen female Kaiken be same-sex aggressive as well, but it's something you see. But I wouldn't say it's all of them in the same sense that you kind of would say it would be with, I think, Akita and Shikoku. They tend to say nearly all of them.
To add to that, I'm not sure if I think Nippo is the same, but let's say when me and Rio went to Odate in Japan to watch the Hombuten, which is kind of the headquarters show, it was common to see the dogs growl at each other, bark. Yeah. I've seen dogs redirect back on their handler, and we're like in Western show, that's done, you're disqualified. Yeah. But there it's common. So is that similar to Nippo or even KKA?
I don't know so much with KKA because I've seen a lot more footage of Nippo shows, but they do kind of spar where they get all their fur stands up on ends, and they I don't think they ever get them close enough that they would ever fight or redirect. But they obviously have a lot of noise and a lot of voice.
Yeah, so they obviously have a good control of your dog. They should not be like next to each other, but especially in the male class, holy shit, it's so like it's a lot of barking, growling, but again, be a good handler, have a good control of the dog, and a lot of people are frightened by that when they see the male class, even in our Shinbuten, which is our branch shows, growling, and then there was the face off where they're, I'm shutting up. We have one more minute. I'm gonna go.
But yeah,
did anyone want to share the actual dogs and their place real quick before we
Let's
switch?
see them.
Do you want to stop sharing your screen, Aster?
Oh yes, I don't know how to do that. Sorry, I can't shut up about dogs. It's just it's just a problem. Akiko, Nami,
Kubo.
Akiko. Try and get the idiot to come back.
I can try to show mine too if I can find them. I have Hanashi. Oh wait, I have both of them here. I will try to start the video because I am stupid.
Here, I'll get Nezuko.
Wait, how do I do this?
Nezuko here.
There, we have.
Up.
I can like to give kisses.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at them all. Oh, Nezuko.
Nezuko's so
What
cute.
But I can see her. There.
It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
Join us. Come join us for the last second.
I know. I have to hold you up because you're so short. You're so short.
Oh, little baby.
Cool. Stop looking at the counter.
Oh, now Akiko. Yeah, dog party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nezuko's being creepy.
Hey, Joopy. You comfy? You comfy? Yeah.
Oh,
you want to get down?
Well, thank you all for listening to me yap about dogs for an hour. Thank you to Wolf and Rio for joining in because, as I said, I don't know that much about Akitas. So, but I hope you enjoyed, and you can always message me about dogs because I don't know how to shut up.
I will message you myself because I'm super I'm curious of the difference in the club. So this is actually super fun.
I'll take some photos of the books as well for you. I'll put them in the chat.
Oh yeah, and the newsletter too.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, honey.
Awesome. All right, let's switch gears then. Thank you.
I'm obsessed with that.